Hi, my name is Sharon Nagra, and today I'm going to be talking about virtual play therapy with Roblox. What is Roblox? Roblox is an online game platform that allows users to create games and play games with other players. It was created in 2004 and released in 2006. I actually made my account in 2009, so I was in middle school at the time. And it's still so cool that it's still very popular. I definitely never imagined that I would even be talking about it in therapy with my clients, but um, there's a few that are really big fans of Roblox and really enjoy playing it. And so it's come up in our sessions, and they're always very surprised when I know what games they're referring to, and they're very surprised to know that I've played it in the past as well. So like I said, Roblox is a very popular game, and as of August 2020, Roblox had over 164 million monthly active users. In the United States, over half of its users are children under the age of 16. In Roblox, players are able to buy, sell, and create virtual items. So this allows for creative expression and connection with other players. So this is a statement from Roblox that I think beautifully summarizes the power that online gaming has. So the statement reads, Roblox is a global community whose mission is to build a human co-experience platform that enables shared experiences among billions of users. Every day, tens of millions of people around the world have fun with friends as they explore millions of immersive digital experiences. All of these experiences are built by the Roblox community, made up of over 8 million creators. We believe in building a safe, civil, and diverse community, one that inspires and fosters creativity and positive relationships between people around the world. Like I said, I think that is just such a beautiful statement that really points to the power that online gaming has. And I think it also just points to the power that it can have in the therapy room as the client and the therapist engage in online play. So a few different types of games on Roblox are roleplay, adventure, fighting, obby, tycoon, and simulator. There are so many types of games, literally thousands of games that have been created by its players. If there is a specific type of game that doesn't exist, you can also create it. So I think that's also a really cool thing that Roblox offers. So a few benefits of virtual play therapy are that the client is able to express their feelings and emotions through a creative outlet. So again, depending on the type of game that they choose, that can tell you a lot about how they're feeling. If they want to play a game that is more of a war game, it might tell you a lot about how they're feeling that day. Also, a lot of children and adolescents really enjoy online gaming. So this is a great hobby that they can bring into therapy and use in a space that they might not feel super comfortable expressing their feelings and emotions verbally. So a few specific skills that can be brought into therapy or that can be discussed are teaching interactions. So there's many games that the therapist and the client can play together. And if we are thinking about a specific example, there's a very popular game called Adopt Me. And in this game, the client can choose to either be the baby that's being adopted or the parent that is adopting the baby. And so the therapist would just take the other role that's open. So again, in that role, they're able to role play, and the therapist is able to, in a way, correct or teach the client, but not in a way that sounds like a lecture. They're able to do it in a very playful way. So they're also able to discuss topics such as fairness, cooperation, rivalry, winning, and losing. These are topics that are very popular in online gaming, but they're also topics that are going to be addressed in the real world. And so the therapist is able to work with the client in this safe digital space to discuss these topics. And the client is able to take what they've learned and apply it to the real world. They're also able to develop problem solving. So there are some games where the client might not get what they want, or if they're building something, it might not have turned out the way that they wanted. So therapist and client can work together to figure out what the next best step is. So online gaming is also very beneficial for the client's well-being. Players can take on different identities. So again, depending on what type of game that they choose, they really have the power to pick what type of identity they want to take on. If they want to be a teacher, they can play a teacher school role play game. If they want to be a soldier, they can play a fighting game. They really have the power to make that decision for themselves. Um, Online gaming also allows for an escape from the restrictions and difficulties of the real world. So they're able to enter this digital space with the therapist and yeah, just again, feel like it's an escape for them. Um, Mood management. So online gaming can be a very powerful and positive coping skill for some children and adolescents. So it can really help bring them back to that level, to the baseline that they have. They also sometimes have a positive feeling. So this relates to affectance. So they can have a positive feeling when humans experience, when they're interacting with their environment and they realize that the choices that they make impact others and themselves. And so in a game, every decision that the client makes is going to impact themselves. So if they're in an obby, which is short for obstacle course, if they're in an obby, they fall off of a beam or a ball. They realize that they have to start over, and like that decision, that choice was on them. And so they're able to recognize that what they do really does matter. Um, Online gaming can also lead to an experience of flow. So for a lot of children and adolescents, as they've become comfortable with online gaming and they've kind of done it for a while, it can feel kind of normal for them, or they can feel like they've gotten pretty good at it. And so they can, they don't have to put too much thought into it, but still enough, but it's still something that they really enjoy. So online gaming also meets the psychological needs of children and adolescents. Players are able to feel satisfied. So when they confront new challenges, they have to solve different tasks, and these can lead to feelings of competence and mastery. So for example, I remember in middle school, there was a very, very popular game called fencing, and I was absolutely terrible at it. And there were also a few other players that told me that I was terrible, and like, I mean, that kind of felt not too great. Um, but it was summertime, and so I spent hours and hours practicing and trying to get better at fencing, and ultimately I got better after lots of practice. Um, but I remember feeling so proud of myself and feeling like I've mastered this new skill. Um, and I was able to recognize the hard work that I put into getting better and improving. And like that, clients are able to recognize that there are going to be challenges with online gaming. There are going to be some games that they might not be great at, but with practice, they're able to get better, and that can also lead to an increase in self-confidence as well. Players are also able to recognize that there are different narratives and storylines of different games, and they're able to confront and cope with negative situations that may arise from those storylines. So, for example, if there is a war game, they recognize that there are two opposing teams. They recognize that essentially there's going to be one team that loses and one team that wins. They know that they have their support system, their teammates, um, but they also recognize that this game is going to involve death and loss and a lot of pain. And so they're really able to put themselves into that storyline and support one another, and just really take on the emotions that may arise from that situation. Um, Online gaming also leads to social well-being. So this is the development of social relationships as they're playing with other players, or even as the client is playing with the therapist. They're able to enter the space together and know that like they are experiencing this game and all of its elements, everything that it has to offer together. It really is just like a really sacred space. Yeah. So that's all I have. I never thought that I would be talking about Roblox in relation to therapy, but that just shows the power that online gaming can have in regards to connection